Don't
it
kill
out.
me.
Don't worry. The Italians could get it. Go.
Go, get it.
Stop. That thing's gonna run into my face. Just smack it. There we go. Where'd it go? We did it! It's on the Thank you.
Is it on there?
It's like it's moving. It's like it's still moving.
I like how the entire floor is like.
I'm waiting for this so we can put it in the trash. Put it in the trash. Put it in the trash. It's full. Where do I put it? Oh, you didn't want to do more anymore. Come on. If you were an animal.
You see like girls like screaming at you.
No, I had to get rid of the spider once just so it's
That doesn't happen.
Thank you.
Hi guys! Wow, it's been like a long time since I did a vlog. So this feels kind of awkward for me. Like before starting this, I was literally adjusting everything like how did I do it before? Like yeah, it's good. But I'm here and the reason that I haven't been posting for the past 3 weeks was because nothing really happened. I think it was my second vlog where this did happen before, where I was like, okay, nothing happened, and it's the shortest one of all the vlogs currently up. And as much as I wanted to stick to my original schedule, which was like post every week, yeah, no, like nothing happened, and I didn't really want to waste anyone's time to hear about nothing going on. So since that last vlog, it's just been studying, homework, all that. Didn't really go out as much, didn't really do anything. There wasn't really much to share. So yeah, like I was actually looking through my diary and looking at those days, it was like, yeah, just studying. I literally wrote everything like, oh, school was cool, did my work, did this, did that, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. So last week and then this week were midterms. Prior to last week, again, studying for those midterms. And then within those midterms, was studying for the other midterms. So like I said, just non-stop studying, non-stop work, all that. I had 4 midterms and I'm only taking 4 classes. So this is actually the first time since college where I had to do, where I had a midterm for all my classes. So that was pretty crazy and somewhat stressful, but 2 of them were take-homes, so that was cool. But even though they were take-homes, well, okay, I'll talk about each midterm, I guess. For my communication and media midterm, which was one of the take-homes, it was just 3 questions, but they were so vague. Like, I mean, she went over with us like what you're supposed to do, but they were so vague that like, I feel like I did pretty well, but I don't know. It was just, there's this one question where she wanted us to go to these 2 websites and then write the headline of every single article and categorize them in various categories, but those could fit in like other categories. So I asked her like, is there a one specific spot? And then she was just saying like, oh, there's no right or wrong answer, just put it in a category. And I'm like, what? I don't know, like I'm trying to explain it, but I kind of want to forget about it. After I did that, I was just like, that's it, I'm moving on, I'm done. Then my other take home was for my film class. And that one was easy. It was just, he gave us, I think it was 5 movies. He gave us a list of movies. We had to watch one of them, and then we had to like analyze them, like a particular scene or the theme or a character or something like that. And of the movies, I chose Burning. That stars Steven Yeun. You don't know, he's from Walking Dead. Glenn. That was actually a really good movie. I actually liked it. It's one of those movies where nothing's really happening and then something happens and you're like, whoa. I definitely recommend you watch that movie. It is a Korean film, so you have to deal with subtitles, but it is actually a pretty good movie, so you should check it out. And that was a recent movie too. Like, did it come out this year? I don't know. Also, seeing Steven Yeun in a movie like that, because I'm not huge on Walking Dead. I used to. I only stopped at season 3. But I'm so used to him as Glenn that seeing him as someone else was just, it was like a little weird for me. But he's like one of those actors where it's like you don't just see him for that one role and that's like the only thing he can play, because he actually played this character well, that like at some point in the movie I was like, oh, it's not Glenn anymore, it's Ben. His name's Ben in the movie. So yeah, Burning, check it out. Yeah, literally, like, this all feels so new to me, like just how I set it up. Like, I feel like this isn't even how it's supposed to be, like the camera is. And I feel like my mic is out of place, but whatever. The film one's gonna be due next week, but I had it done ahead of time because the last day of midterms was Wednesday, and I just wanted everything done before the weekend to chill. On Wednesday was actually my last 2 midterms. It was my English midterm and then my KLI, the Korean language one. For the English, I'm very disappointed how that went, because I reread the books, because she told us that there's gonna be like matching terms, writing down who says what, and then just an essay or like a short response. Had I known she would include little things that don't really matter, that aren't as important, this one was the most frustrating test I took of all my midterms. Okay, like for example, the writing down who says what. You would think when you have to study these things, you study the main points. And she told us like, oh, like, so just read, like, just if you read the books, if you just look at the presentations or the PowerPoints, you'll be fine. You'll know what to do. So I reread the recent book. It wasn't that long. It's Sherlock Holmes, The Sign of 4. I reread it, and so rereading it, my mind was going like, okay, so I really have to pay attention to how Sherlock Holmes is, how James Watson is, Miss Mary, all that. Even like, okay, what the gem may symbolize, and you know, things like those typical stuff. How do you expect me to remember that one character in that one scene who did absolutely nothing and whose quote really doesn't mean anything? Like, what? I probably sound like I'm making an excuse, because for the most part, it is my fault for not being fully prepared. However, I don't think it's fair how she didn't really prepare us. You know, I don't know. For the most part, I did my best. I tried really hard. I just have to do better in the final. And I know I'm not alone, because everyone around me was also like, what the hell? So here's hoping when she sees the results, she'll be generous. Yeah. And then there's my KLI. And that was broken up into, I think it was four different tests. So there was reading, there was writing, there was listening, and speaking. So the first one was speaking, which is like a little interview. And it's like really short, like at most it's 8 minutes, but I think everyone can manage to do it less than 5 even. I know mine only took 4 minutes. So like how this went was, I walked in and she just strictly Korean, not much English, or actually no English. So she told me in Korean to introduce myself. Like I felt so ready because I had reviewed like all the grammar and then the vocab, so it's like, okay, I think I can do this. I know what to do. The first thing she asks is, what's my major? And I blanked out. I was just like, what is that? Like, I know it, but what is it? She even saw in my face like how I was having a mental breakdown because it's like, oh my god, I don't know what this is. I'm on the spot. Then she said, 공부합니까? And I knew that meant what do you study? And I was like, oh, okay, that's what it is. And so I just told her like, I answered the question. For reading, did I say speaking was first? It was reading. For reading, we have a reading book. At the start of every chapter, there's this page like you just read, and it usually contains the things you're going to learn and such. She has it so she folds each one and then you just randomly pick and you read it. I almost did it flawlessly, but I did stutter at this one point. It happens. Then the next was listening. So they play from a CD and then you just have to like answer the question like, did they say this? What does this mean? It's that, true or false. Yeah. And then the last one was writing, which was just, they gave us a paper and then you just answer the questions. But something I want to say about that one is that on the last page, it asks you to write about yourself in 5 sentences. So I wrote like, I'm a college student, I study creative writing, I have 5 members in the family, I sing every day, and then the best one that I wrote to describe myself was that I really love sugar. I'm so garbage. I wasn't doing anything wrong. That is something about myself. And I wrote it correctly. I didn't. But I mean, yeah, that was funny. Like I told all my friends and they're like, you did not do that. You did not do that on your test. And I'm like, I so did on my test. That was the only midterm that I got my results back on. So as of now, I only know how well I did on my KLI. Oh, wait. Sorry. The one where you had to read it's not really a reading. That wasn't the reading test. That was like a recitation. Yeah. The reading, sorry, this is like major. This is so unorganized. I'm so sorry. The reading was just reading and then answering questions, multiple choice, all that, or whatever. Okay, so now back to the results. For that, I got 100%, which I'm actually surprised by. And then for the recitation, I got 9 out of 10. We don't have to talk about the others. I mean, I passed. And totaled all together, my average was a B+, which, I mean, I'm proud. I mean, again, those past few weeks was just studying, hard work, and all that. So I'm actually, for the most part, I'm very proud of myself for the hard work and effort I put into my school. And then on top of that, this Monday, I had another essay due for my English class. I was able to finish that essay yesterday. And then also yesterday, I had a presentation for my media class. And yeah, so on top of midterms was other assignments. And like I said before, I wanted to be done with everything so that I have the weekend to just chill. And I was able to do that. So today was a chill day. I slept in for the first time in forever. I felt so accomplished and I felt so proud of myself for just really being a good student. I'm not saying I'm a bad student. I'm actually a very lazy student. So yeah, that was pretty much what happened these past few weeks. So I can't guarantee that I'll be consistent with these weekly vlogs. I mean, I totally broke that these past few weeks. But just so you know that if nothing happens, I'm not gonna vlog about that week. And I feel like I need to say it because I had some people ask me like if Korea celebrates Halloween. Yeah, they do. From what I've heard and such from my classmates is that they usually celebrate it that weekend before. There are these parties at clubs and such. Everyone dresses up. But then they also said even on Halloween, like, people still party and all that. Actually, people party every day here. But what I hear is that they go all out, especially with like blood, gore, zombie stuff. And it's hella crowded. And it's usually like packed in Itaewon. I think only there, because they say Hongdae's dead. Itaewon is where everyone's at. So they do celebrate. Yeah, this was what I wore on Halloween. Yay! So that's gonna be it for me. Hopefully I do stuff or stuff happens where I can post weekly. But if not, you'll probably know why. Regardless, I will see you next time. Is that what I say? No. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
다를 건 없네. 똑같은 일상 속에 딱 나만 없네. 분명 어제까지는 함께였는데 무서울 정도로 똑같은 하루 속에 딱 너만 없네. 솔직히 말해 네가 없던 1년쯤 덤덤했지 흔히 말하는 미련도 어떤 지난 날 이젠 깜빡 네 향기 따윈 기억도 안 나 잠깐 근데 어디선가 맡아봐